Dave, go easy on me. Adele's back, and I've got mixed feelings about Adele 30. Um, it's been 6 years since we got an Adele album. 25 came out in 2015. We've been waiting. She's been going through some stuff. The album is good. Let's just start there. The songs are good. The album is good. It was not what I expected, and I'm grappling with that. Were you were you pleased and did you feel satisfied with what we got from Adele 30? Let's just start there.
Yeah, no, I was pleased. I was satisfied. I I think it's really interesting to think about having like expectations for Adele, an artist that really keeps everything at arm's reach. As you said, 6 years between albums. I'm sure the label would have liked that gap to be just a little shorter,
Yeah, I mean,
given
three
her
years.
incredible stature
Mhm.
as the biggest artist of the 21st century when it comes to sales. Like she's this megalith, right? So
Mhm.
to get her fourth album at last, uh, I was just curious to hear it, because she has such a track record. Um, and yeah, she got divorced. It's evident.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is where I guess where I'm feeling a little. I don't know if dissatisfied, but just like surprised. Maybe my expectations were subverted. We get "Easy on Me" as the single, right? Mega hit. Seems right in line with most of the Adele singles we've gotten in terms of like structure. It's the song that starts off pretty low, has like the high pitched Adele booming voice, just like totally throwing you into your emotions. You feel like you're a mess by the end of this thing. And then I feel like a lot more of the album was toned back. And you didn't hear Adele
Hmm.
necessarily hitting those like high notes. There weren't as many ballads maybe on this as I expected. Um, and for me, that left me surprised. Definitely felt like my expectations were subverted. I listened to this album 3 times though, and I was like, "This is a really good album." Every time I
Yeah.
listen, and there's I think this is an album that we say this about a lot of them though. Really, you get a lot out of re-listens because you pick up on little things, you pick up on sequencing, and I'm sure everybody's seen the news about how Adele asked Spotify not to make the autoplay random or whatever, jump around.
The big play button when you open an album was defaulting to shuffle. So I didn't
So
even use
stupid.
that button for years. I would just click on the first song so it didn't shuffle. Kind of a
How is
stupid
that?
thing that shuffle was the default.
How
And we
is that
needed
at the
Adele
default?
of all people to use her pull to pull this off with Spotify, right? Like kind
I,
of nonsense that this was even a thing.
yeah. So I'm glad we're talking about this. That was my first reaction. I was like, Spotify, this is really what you've been doing all these years. Like albums, most of the time are sequenced for a reason, the way that they are, and then you're just totally subverting that. That makes no sense to me. Um, but yeah, so I feel like this is a bit more toned back than what we got on tracks on albums like 25 or 21, but still really impressed with this. I saw you tweeting about it a bit today. You're a fan.
Yeah, and I think to your point about it being, lower tempo, being not as big. She said that that was intentional. She didn't want to make another hello. She didn't want that like it's I think it's funny. There's a few reasons. But, like she doesn't want like that karaoke song again, but she also just doesn't want that like mammoth world beating song, which is so funny because no matter what she made, it was going to be a world beater anyway, right? Easy on Me, as you said, huge hit thus far. It's been number one since it came out. Set the Spotify single day streaming record, NBD. It also set the single week for a song record. But Easy on Me isn't like challenging to Adele's vocal abilities or anything, right? It's kind of a conventional song, but because it's Adele, it's gonna hit and sounds really good. And she just has such incredible vocals and amazing pitch and all that, that even if it's just kind of a solid down the middle song, it sounds amazing. And obviously that's bearing out with the song's success. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's some songs where she belts it at the end, but I feel like those are more like emotional songs. They're not exactly songs that like maybe people are gonna like jump out of their seat to listen to all the time. The way something like Adele would dominate pop radio, even though
Mhm.
it's not exactly what you'd think of as like a hit popular song.
Yeah. It's I think it just speaks, and I think you really summed this up well, that whatever Adele did for this album was going to be huge unless like she somehow completely missed the mark, which would have been the biggest shock probably of the year. Um I think what I found really impressive about this album was she's always had a knack for writing personal songs, but this album at points was like so personal that it left me feeling like uncomfortable at times. Like especially on first listen, hearing a lot of like the voicemails that she had her voice notes about like,
Mm.
you know, something happened last night and I'm hungover and I feel anxious and paranoid. The stuff with her child, like this was like really raw in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And I appreciated that the album wasn't totally this. You know, we get a lot of songs I think bring some levity and a little bit like, "Hey, I got divorced, but I'm single now. Let's enjoy this." But
Mm.
still, some moments that felt like very very personal. How did you feel about like those tracks?
I did like the touches, honestly. I
Hmm.
thought they were effective. These like
Yeah.
interludes and outros and all that. Yeah, I thought it was good. Um, Man, yeah, it's also really funny to think like as you said, when she's talking about going through divorce, becoming a co-parent, her, you know, the baby dad, ex-husband lives across the street, literally, to make
Mhm.
make raising their kids so easy. Honestly, pretty awesome to hear that. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, like Adele has obviously gone through this amazing physical transformation, but
Hmm.
also is kind of just like becoming a celebrity,
Yeah.
which like just an actual celebrity, right? Like she was at the Lakers game with Rich Paul, the agent, who's her like the superstar power couple now, you know. But like you contrast that, like all this like obvious like big celebrity as she's become a LA person, contrasting that with the music, right? Which is still not compromised at all. Like I honestly love it, and it's so funny too. Look at this track list, right? You'll see Inflow, who was all over the Little Sims album that we love from earlier this year. You see Max Martin, notably on one song that I really liked, but
Greg
dominating the
Kirsten.
credits is Greg Kurstin, and
Yeah.
it's so funny because we've been remarking a little bit recently that Greg Kurstin, maybe we weren't seeing the impact of
Hmm.
some of his recent collaborations, like the Foo Fighters album from this year. So
Right. Right.
Greg Kurstin, just kind of getting the check, getting the bag. You know what? Why he was doing that? Because he was working with fucking Adele, and he was had more important things to do.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I'll say it worked.
in a lot of ways, this is like Greg Kirsten, like LeBron taking like 20 games off and then coming back for the playoffs and just totally like dominating to the finals. You know, like
Yeah,
that's basically what this was. And yeah, the album is just meticulously produced and fabulous. Um, why don't we talk about the tracks that stood out to us? You mentioned one that had Max Martin on. That's got to be "Can I Get It?"
correct. Yeah, I love Can I Get It, especially in the sequence of the album because it's this like breath of up tempo production,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's Adele making this like like pop rock song in a sense. Like it's like all guitar, and I think that song is a fucking banger. I mean, I think I Drink Wine's gonna be the second single, but Can I Get It should be a single. Like that is a straight up hit right there. I love the track.
Yeah, I definitely stood out. It's a unique sounding song on the album, and it's a really fun song. You know, I think it really shows off something Adele hasn't done a lot. Which I mean,
Exactly.
this like sing songy, but like kind of it was like rapping almost at points. Like really
It's
impressively
it's
done.
way more poppy than like Rolling in the Deep or Set Fire to the Rain. It's completely removed from that, but still really good. Just again speaks to the talent. But as you
Yeah,
said, yeah, it's untapped.
and the way it like kind of comes in and out, you know, because she does a lot of singing on the verses, but then it gets to that chorus, and the chorus is just absolute like pop magic, like
Yeah.
perfection.
What do you expect from Max Martin? You know.
Exactly. Um, I really like the track that follows. Can I get it? I drink wine.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's very jazzy, but like I think this is maybe my favorite Adele vocal performance. Just the way she kind of goes all over the place. It's very like subdued and like held back. But the second half, when especially when she starts to get the chorus in the background up behind her, just like really, really good. And just feels very triumphant, which, you mentioned like the first part of the album is heavy, like Cry Your Heart Out is a light sounding song. Um, then you get Can I Get It? And then you get I Drink Wine. That feels like a real like turning point for the album where it's like, okay, she's gone through it, she's moving past it. Now she's like looking at these like tough times where she's drinking all of her problems away, but the album feels like it's turning more to like, okay, I've moved past the divorce. Let's start to look at some other stuff, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I Drink Wine is probably my favorite, at least in the middle. I mean, I think Easy on Me is like clearly maybe the best like ballad and like vocal performance
Mhm.
on the album,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, I like that one a lot. What other songs stood out to you?
So right before Can I Get It? So I think this middle sequence is really interesting. You have Oh My God, and that has kind of like Afrobeat adjacent production. Again, something else untapped in terms of what Adele has done to this point. Really cool. I also thought, towards the end, I think it's was it Hold On and To Be Loved. You know, she's letting it fly at the end there. Vocally. Again, just kind of showing it off in case you forgot, because again, a song like Easy on Me isn't
Yeah,
like it like Hello. So like you forget. I don't think people forget, but you might be perhaps forgetting that Adele just has this amazing vocal range, but she didn't want to use it all the time on this album, and that was obviously by design.
yeah. Hold On. To me is like in the same Adele sphere as "Make You Feel My Love." Her cover of that just feels very
Mm.
much in the same vein, and I just love when Adele does this like very soulful, uh, stripped back kind of song where her vocals are just really, really driving it. But like you said, not like in an overpowering way. I also really liked the song "All Night Parking" with Errol Gardner. I just thought that was like a really smooth, lighthearted, and like almost kind of like it, I don't know. It almost had like a James Blake type production to it, where it had like that like ticking like drum in the background with like some nice keys flowing over it. Everything kind of intertwining well. Um, really, really liked that one. But really, I don't think there's a bad track on here. Tracks I like more than others, but I don't know if there's a bad
Yeah,
track
exactly.
necessarily.
Totally.
Um, and any other thoughts on this? I mean, just glad to have Adele back.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm very interested to see how this album sells in the years to come. Like, give it some time and see how Adele's star power translates to commercial sales as streaming is continuing to evolve and dominate. Like I said, Adele is like the titan of selling music this year, this century, right? The number one best selling album of the 21st century is 21, and the number four best selling album of the 21st century is 25. Like the only person in the 2010s to have two diamond albums. Like she's just this ridiculous commercial force, and I want to see how that manifests nowadays with as the landscape has changed. We've seen artists like Taylor Swift, huge fan base, huge institution as a pop figure. We've seen them continue to sell records while also do big streaming numbers. Right, like I said with Easy on Me, Adele's still dominating streaming too. Um, but I want to see what those sales look like. 21, 31 million records sold. Album's 10 years old. Nuts. So I'm curious to see where 30 gets, in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no doubt it'll probably get somewhere close. I imagine people are going to love this. I was thinking festivals done well since we come back for the most part, aside from obviously the Astro World incident
Mm.
tragedy. Um, Adele's got to be probably headlining. It's
Mm.
Coachella. I say feels like a lock. Glastonbury. I mean, they already announced Billie Eilish. I imagine if Adele wants to play, they'll sign her.
Did she
So
do festivals the last time around? Because what she does is world tour. Obviously, she'll
that's true.
tour this shit for a whole year.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
she doesn't want to split the check or whatever. I don't know
yeah,
how
yeah,
the
like the
structure
non-compete
works.
with the local arenas. I don't know because she.
Yeah,
I mean, the last time she toured, you know, for 25. I mean, that's hundreds of million grossing tour. So I don't know if the festivals were in the cards necessarily.
she
Um,
did Glastonbury 2016. I wonder
okay,
if they would have
yeah,
her back.
obviously British, so there's that connection there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously anyone would take her in a heartbeat. It's just about
Oh,
how
yeah.
calculated it's going to be. You
It
know what I
seems
would
like
love to
maybe
see,
she only
honestly?
did Glastonbury. What was that?
I'd love to see like a Miss Americana style documentary about Adele, just because, like I said, Adele, at least until recently, has kept everything very private. We don't really know much about what Adele's up to. There might be some tabloid stuff, but it's all surface level. She's, maybe even like doing her press now. We know the talking points about the album and the divorce and the kid and all that. But like, I'd love to see the studio process. The way we got Antonoff and Taylor figuring out how to make Getaway Car in real time. I'd love to see something like that for Adele.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of that, dude. Would love to see that.